Out here, if you want to plant a tomato, you plant one. You don't have to ask for the government's permission. But in North Carolina, and yeah, here in Missouri too, if you want to open a surgery center or hospital beds, you've got to beg the government first. Called a certificate of need, it sounds harmless, but it's not. It's basically a law that big hospital chains use to outlaw competition. It drives up costs and it keeps patients from getting the care that they need, especially in rural areas like this one. Right now, North Carolina has a chance to change that. Senator Benton Story is pushing Senate Bill 290, trying to fully repeal the Certificate of Need laws in North Carolina. It's already passed the Senate, but it's gotten stalled out in the House, and they need your help. North Carolina, you can lead the way. More access, more competition, and more freedom. Call your senator and tell them to support Senate Bill 290. They could tear up that permission slip, let America be free as it was meant to be.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Freedom Family Friday means, yes, cute little redheads. So stinking cute, hanging out.
Hello. Oh, great.
Hey, baby.
Hello. I'm just so proud to say that I filmed that video.
Nicely done, Stephanie.
Thank you. And also, those are my tomato plants in the background.
Yes,
that
they are.
I grew myself.
Yes, they are. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Stephanie. You put those tomato plants in there.
I'm so proud of that video because it really highlights our home and how we live.
Well, it's funny because we do all of those chores. Those are kind of like our things, right?
We really do. We have a garden. We make sure our ferns are watered.
We have the brush pile. We have where we throw all our logs and burn all our trash. Yeah. And I mow the lawn with that lawnmower, and that's our real life. That's our real family. That's our real home. But somebody said yesterday, they're like, I don't see any dirt on your boots or on your gloves. Like I was faking it.
Yeah. But then you talked to your dad yesterday, and he said he really connected with your video.
That's why you can't listen to the internet people.
Yeah.
You cannot listen to the internet people.
Because your dad's a real farmer.
Yes. He's like, I just love that video. He's like, I just really connected with it. And I'm like, you know what? That's what the point is. It's supposed to talk to, that's how you talk to normal people. You do normal people stuff, right? All those fancy schmancy internet magic don't matter. What matters? Mowing the lawn.
That's right.
Plant your tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's what people like to see and hear.
That's right. And they probably hate to see that we live in such a beautiful place and have such a great life.
Oh, we got haters for sure, man. They do not like that we are thriving, surviving, doing quite well, frankly. They hate it. You know what our haters really hate? They hate it when people over in the Rumble chat, like Robbie Thurman or Richard Bell or Kayla Vanderfelt or Nelson65 or InJam77 or Andy Opperman or T-Mill22 or Relaxium McGroin or Southcott. You know what they hate? You know what our haters hate the most? They hate it when those people donate Rumble rants and unlock the boat. And they hate it. They do. They don't want us. They want us to go bankrupt. You know how many emails I've gotten, messages I've gotten, people celebrating the death of our business.
I know, our failed shoe business.
Our failed business. Well, the thing is that like the liberals ran with it. This went viral recently, right? That my shoe business had failed, right? It hadn't failed. It just was in danger because of the tariffs.
Right. They just took a post out of context.
Exactly. And so we have gotten just flooded with messages that like people because of course the telephone game is like it starts with like a grain of truth and then the lies just spin and spin and spin.
Right.
So people absolutely have been like dancing on our graves, even though we're surviving, thriving, doing well, because people like, for whatever reason, BB for Liberty donated $3. Said a real farmer would eat squirrel. No, thank you. No,
doesn't BB for Liberty eat squirrel? I think he does actually.
He looks like a squirrel eater.
Yeah, but he lives in a neighborhood.
Yes. You know who else is surviving and thriving? Stephen Ruby over in the chat.
Oh, hi. Good to see you here.
Yeah, it's a good day for him, too, because guess what? Freedom Family Friday means Justin Peterson's here on the show with us today at 8 a.m. Central. Let's give it up for JP.
That's right. He's a city boy. He lives in
City boys
Boston.
don't understand.
We've got a suburban girl, a city boy, and you're a metropolitan. I mean, you're just like everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I've lived like half of my life in the big cities and then half of my life in the rural communities and rural areas. So I'm like, I'm hybrid.
Yeah, and I'm just a suburban mother,
but
born and raised in the suburbs of Detroit.
But Justin, he's kind of found religion lately. He's starting to get back to his roots.
He's been posting pictures of going to church lately.
Yeah,
so that's
and
really interesting.
And he's even been telling some of his church stories, which don't let me forget. We got to ask him because apparently somebody confronted him when he went to a church. He was singing, and he wasn't doing. Stephen Rule will know this, but there's people who will go and they'll sing and they'll be like because they want people to hear them, And Justin specifically said in his post, at least his words, that he went to a church and he was singing, but not like "Almighty fortress is our God." You know what I mean? It wasn't like this whole moment of like I'm trying to show everybody that I'm a great singer. But some lady who was sitting behind him gave him the stink eye and then confronted him later and is like, "What are you doing here?" And it's church. What are you supposed to do? Am I not supposed to be? Am I not welcome here? Is this what it's like? I guess not. I don't know, but. So,
I've always had that problem with my singing voice. I sing very loudly. So I was in choir pretty much my whole schooling career. And my choir teacher did tell me to kind of hush it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm a very loud soprano.
I'm sure I probably got Mr. Orr.
Yeah, I mean, I talk loud. You say I talk loud, and I sing even louder.
We're laying in bed right next to each other last night, and you're just like, talk to me about anything. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you just whispering little sweet nothings in my ear. And you just want to have a little conversation. And I'm like, all right. So I start talking, and you're like, blah, 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 right in my ear. I'm just like, oh, babe.
It's because I'm Jewish.
I
came from a Jewish home. Jews and Italians are very similar. So we speak loudly. Greeks as well. We speak very loudly. And that's how we show our excitement and our love. So it's just a cultural thing.
We had a nice shmianya bagel. Nelson65 says, yeah, Justin. Thank you, bud. We appreciate it. We're trying to hit that $75 bonus content goal. We got bonus content to unlock. So I was out yesterday, had a terrible headache. I was just feeling nasty. And it's like when you have to entertain people like this and you want to cheer people up in the morning, you can't be like a slug or slime. You don't want people to see you like that. And you don't want people to feel bad. You want them to feel good. So I figured personal day yesterday. I took a half day. Didn't do the show, but worked up the rest of the day. But still feeling better today for Freedom Family Friday. Justin will be here. Good morning, John Rail. Good morning, Mighty Megatron.
Hi, John.
Can't forget our inner city guys here as well. We're all excited to have looks like the main crew is all here. So we've got a great show for you today. We've got tons of awesome topics. I've got a billion clips. First big topic. We're going to talk about this with Justin, so we'll put a pin in this to talk about later.
Okay.
But the Democratic Party has stated that they want to study men and figure out how to get more men to join the Democratic Party. Exactly. Very funny.
So there's going to be women doing research on men.
Yes, and
that's fun.
Yes, and women who are pretending to be men who are going to weigh in with their opinions on what it's like to be a man.
Right.
And they will use research from biological women who claim to be men and say this is what men want, and no actual men will be used in studying.
I don't know. What do men want? Well,
a man wants.
They want beer, hot women, guns, gold girls.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. But don't think you're going to run into the arms of the Democratic or the Republican Party and they're going to care anymore about men. They don't.
At least they could definitely produce some hot women. The Democrat Party, they could definitely, wear some bikinis, and some guys might come.
They can't anymore. They don't show them like that anymore because it's too much body. That's not the kind of body positivity they want. They only want to show you if you're fat. And if you're ugly, then they'll show pictures of you and they'll put you on the front cover. Did you see that 20-foot tall model of the fat black woman that they put in Times Square in New York City a few weeks ago? Of course you didn't. You're so innocent. They put Shaquisha in Times Square. It's just the worst representation ever. Of black people. It was a black woman, and she's a chunk and honker. I'll find the picture and I'll pull it up later if we decide to talk about it. But it's like, ugh. The left loves everything that's ugly, and you may think that the right appreciates beauty. They do, But the Republican Party very much exists as a cartel of mostly older white men, who are part of the Republican Party as not to like help men or to support the next generation of men, but to actually hamstring men when they aren't throwing them and their bodies onto like they do with male chicks. You know what they do with male chicks?
And they throw them out. They put them in the grinder.
Yeah, how they grind them.
It's terrible.
Yeah, well, that's a metaphor for what the Republican Party, many of the Republicans want in terms of war for like young American men to throw us into the grinder like they do chickens. Yeah. Or they exist as a cartel to protect the businesses of the elite white old Republican men and to outlaw competition, to raise taxes and tariffs, to prevent young men from having access to women or to resources in this country, and that the right exists as a cartel. And if they're not grinding us up in the meat grinder overseas, then they're taking the law and using it to prevent people from doing maybe the exact same thing that one of the ways Donald Trump got rich, right? Making ties in Bangladesh. Austin Peterson does it. Boo! No, that's illegal. And we're not going to outlaw it de facto. We're going to outlaw it de jure by increasing the amount of import the cost that it is in order to sell T-shirts from maybe the same factory that Trump ties were made in.
But then get rid of those tariffs.
And well, yeah, exactly.
Didn't he like go back on all of the things?
No, he's back. He's forth. He's back. He's forth. Robbie Thurman says men want penis-free women. True. Yes.
Yes. And I really think Democrat men want something different than Republican men, because if you like wave a gun at a Democratic Party rally, like people are going to be screaming, freaking out, including the men. So you can't attract men the same way in each party.
Yes,
you gotta cater to them differently with your marketing.
Let me show you. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips. So I'm going to show you what the Democrats think of men. Let me show you. This is how the Democrats talk about men, and then I'm going to show you how Republicans talk about men. And you tell me. I mean, there's a difference. But you tell me if it doesn't seem pretty anti-male both ways. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, good questions. One, let me save the folks from the Times and all the other great, print outlets some time. If you dig in on what Democrats are researching right now, you're going to find a lot of silly stuff. You're going to find people asking a lot of questions, people asking about syntax and do I drop the G from this word and this and that, and it's going to be a lot of that. So let me just warn everybody, that process is going to be very obnoxious for this 40-something. I would also say, we're really talking about young men, right? Young men who Democrats have not figured out a consistent pitch for how to get in front of. And I think it starts with authenticity. Yeah.
It starts with authenticity. So the clip was incomplete. I thought I had the full one on this one. But this is the Democrats' push. This is their ploy to get more men involved in the Democratic Party. They're going to study the syntax of how men speak to one another. And here we go. This is Olivia Giuliana, who they have hired on this left. This woman on the left.
So she's researching men right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men. You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spend a lot of time on college campuses. And I spend a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys. And in that, I realize, like, even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who supported Black Lives Matter. And so I feel like people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcomed in it.
Okay, well, that's true.
Well, women make them feel not welcomed.
Yeah, exactly. They're not welcomed in it. Here's Tommy Lahren talking about generations. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The LGBTQ community, they don't make each other feel welcome either. So that's why they're probably lacking in the Democrat Party too, because nobody feels welcome with anybody in the Democrat Party. Everyone just keeps pushing each other away.
Nelson in the chat says even gay men hate Democrat men. That's very true.
Yeah.
I saw like some threads last night. I was reading that it was a bunch of gay people talking about how like they've gone back in the closet because they don't because being gay is associated with being woke, and so
your brother.
Yeah,
I'm
they don't want to be associated with that, so they just don't tell people that they're gay because they assume that means that they think that they're going to be woke, which they're not. Right.
Yeah, your brother doesn't want to be part of that either.
Here's how Republicans talk about young men.
It's a major problem. And, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. They did much the same thing with quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less. And if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better. But Laura, I got to tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates. People not getting married and having children. That's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And therein lies a big part of the problem.
She's got a good point on one hand.
I mean, I think a lot of the women just don't want. They want to friend zone them.
Yeah, well,
the men who are out there working, doing the right thing, the women are just like, oh no, I'm not interested in him. He's not tall enough. He's not good looking enough. He's not bad boy enough.
Yeah. There was a video I saw this morning that would have been perfect for this, and I clicked away from it.
Oh no! Never click away.
Oh man! Well, it was so grotesque. It was so grotesque. It was.
But it's true. I think kids, men and women, they're staying at home with their parents. I did until I was in my early 30s, until we got together.
Yes.
So stay at home adult children is definitely a trend.
Yes. So the reason why Tomi Lahren was having that discussion on Fox was because there was this article that was called Rise of the Stay-at-Home.
Oh, dad. Stay-at-home dad?
Stay-at-home sons.
Oh, stay-at-home sons. Oh,
so it's young men who are, they used to say failure to launch. They made a movie about that back in the 90s or something like. Oh, hey, there's the statue I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's the right here.
I mean, she's not as large as I thought she was going to be. I thought she was going to be like 300 pounds.
That is 300 pounds.
Okay. She just looks thick. Like her thighs are thick. Yeah.
They chose the most unattractive Shaquisha that they could to put in the middle of the Times Square. Because, again, the left loves things that are ugly. They hate things that are beautiful.
Right.
But when you hear Tomi Lahren, talking about this, the reason why these young men aren't going out into the workplace and getting married and marrying these women is because women's standards are so redonkulously high.
Women suck. They can't please them.
The opportunities are not there.
Right.
The opportunities are not there for the young men to go out and to earn, so they're staying at home.
You know who is finding mates nowadays?
Who?
The autistic community. Because Love on the Spectrum, the show, it's an autistic dating show. It has gotten so big that I think autistic people are now finding partners at a higher rate than people who are just normal.
That is actually really
Seriously.
sad, Stephanie.
Seriously, like autism is so popular now, and all these people, they're getting partners, they're finding love. But us normies out here, we're just,
we're gonna beat this.
Unless you find an Austin Peterson, you're just out of luck.
You got very lucky. Let's be honest, Stephanie, when you found me.
Oh, I did. I got to be with my crush. That's very rare.
That's right. And we were talking, what were we talking about yesterday? Oh yeah, speaking of wonderful life that we have, because we were talking yesterday about how life is so beautiful for us. We're so lucky and so thankful. But fiber internet coming in today.
From 10 to 12.
Which means that tonight, for the Freedom Arcade, we can stream in full high definition 1920 by 1080p 1440 frame rate, whatever you want.
You all are going to see every nook and cranny of our faces.
That's right.
Get ready.
Honestly, I'm just so thrilled. We're finally going to have fast internet, which it also means that we're going to be able to take like our interviews. Let's say we have a really good full length interview with Camellia.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to cut that interview. We're going to be able to post it out there because it won't take 6 hours to upload one video clip, right? We're going to have a great time. There's no way I'm going to find that clip, unfortunately, that I was going to play. But it was two women talking about how they love like criminal men with lots of tattoos that look like they're going to murder their dog. And, right. And so it was just like.
Well, that is what a lot of women like.
Yeah.
They like the bad boy.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so we're going to talk about the women, male problem stuff.
That's right. We're putting a pin in
Justin.
it. I realize.
We already talked about it for like 10 minutes. But if you want to unlock that bonus content today, guys, what I recommend you guys do is go to forlibertyshop.com and get yourself a nice pair of earrings and use code.
Don't forget, it's literally DONTFORGET. And the reason why it's don't forget is because we want to remind you to always have a pair of earrings on hand for the woman in your life. You never know when an anniversary is coming, a birthday, or some holiday that a woman really thinks is important that you have no idea even exists. So have a pair of earrings, buy them now. They're not expensive.
They're not at all.
They're cheaper than earrings that you'd get at Kohl's or Walmart. And the woman will be very, very pleased that you did not forget them. So don't forget. Just use that code at checkout for 10% off all earrings.
Just picture this, gentlemen. All right, it's 4th of July, okay, and you get up in the morning and you just spent 25 little silly dollars today, and you get yourself these Bomb Pop popsicle earrings. How would you feel, Stephanie? Answer. If you didn't already have the Bomb Pop earrings.
I know you already gave them to me as a gift. Thank you.
But let's say maybe the Don't Tread on Me earrings, or say like that. We wake up 4th of July morning and we're going to go to a big party, and then I give you this little gift right before we go to the party. I mean, how much would that make your stinking day?
I would certainly be smiling. I mean, it really tickles your heart when you get a gift.
It is. So we're recommending that if you guys want to get a nice little gift for a lady in your life, or ladies, of course, you can splurge for yourself too, go to forlibertyshop.com. Do it during the live show this morning because that helps to unlock the bonus collection. Check out our custom earring collection. It's just unbelievable, all the different styles that we have, especially for people like us who believe what we believe. And the American flag earrings are very popular.
Yeah, a lot of people have been buying them.
They love the American flag earrings, but like the ice cream earrings are adorable.
Yeah, Cecilia actually has the American flag earrings. I know she gave a 5-star review for them.
Melania Trump earrings, libertarian porcupine earrings.
Now, these bomb earrings, so they apparently are made out of real bombs.
Yes, they're made out of real bombs and real bullets.
Yes.
Cowgirl Western pistol earrings for all the Texas gals. Yeehaw. Missouri State.
Aww.
We always had to throw in the Missouri there because we're from Missouri. Bitcoin, apron earrings, and American Shield stud earrings. I think people would love them. So go to forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4. libertyshop.com and unlock that bonus content. You'll be glad you did. And if you guys get yourself some nice earrings for your lady, I know that she will be glad you did, and you will be glad you did. Everybody will be happy.
And even for the women, if you have lots of female friends, I mean, like, I was invited to a women gathering recently, and it was a birthday party, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a gift, right? So I hurry up, get on Amazon, and Amazon doesn't always have shipping that's that quick, right? So it's like, it's good just to have a pair just on standby for when you can't get a gift immediately.
One last time, what's the coupon code, Stephanie, for those earrings?
Don't forget, DONTFORGET.
There we go. Don't forget, use that coupon code for how much off today?
10% off, and it's good through Sunday night at 11:59 p.m.
There we go. Mighty Megatron says he likes the Captain America shields. Might get that for myself. Good for you, bud.
Yeah, I mean, guys have pierced earrings too, so that's okay.
I've got a pierced ear.
That's right. I think it's hot. When guys have pierced earrings, I think that's hot.
I guess I better get
it's like
some.
a band thing, I think.
Yeah, got to get some. Brule Jack, first time here, by the way. Let's all welcome Brule Jack.
Hello.
Whenever we see a new commenter, we always like to fet them.
Yes.
F-E-T-E. The face earrings are tacky, though, not going to lie. Very true.
The face earrings? What are those?
I don't know. Like.
Oh, I thought he was talking about our earrings in the collection. Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he was. Maybe he's.
Yeah, like the nose, the nose rings that make you look like a bull. Yes.
Did we watch some reel the other day where it was like this chick was talking about how a nose ring or like when you have the septum piercing, this is a way for you to sort of externalize your trauma.
I didn't see that, but I believe it because a lot of people who have trauma do wear those earrings. And they also have dimple earrings too. Like some people get earrings in their dimples.
Ugh. Oh yeah. I mean, you see all kinds of nasty
lip rings, tongue rings.
Yeah, it's basically a way of signaling I'm toxic, and that's what it is. People pierce their cheeks. Yeah, says Brule Jack. Everybody, welcome Brule Jack to the Wake Up America show. Hopefully, we'll earn their support and they'll come back. And join
I
us.
see a rant just came through.
And Dad Bob Baboon, he made a donation, and Steelbringer gifted a sub.
Oh, thank you guys.
Subs, you guys, thank you so much. We're well on the way to unlocking the bonus content. I think we're at like $20 or $30 so far. Once we hit $75, you'll unlock that bonus content. Dad Bod Baboon, the National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood, has found that it only takes 3.25 inches to satisfy most women and AP for Liberty. A credit card is on average 3.25 inches long. Hey!
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I really don't think size matters, to be honest. I think if a guy is too big, that's actually a problem. I actually knew somebody, and she was with someone who was too big, and she had to get surgically. She had to fix that surgically so it was actually comfortable for her. So yeah, you don't want someone who's too big. Just saying.
Stephanie, please stop.
Yeah. I mean,
guys, click the like button.
Hey, you guys brought it up. I just have to say, size does not matter.
Redheaded libertarian girls, man. Click the like button if you're having fun this morning. Click the follow button if you're Brule Jack and it's your first time here and you want to get a notification whenever we go live, which is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time on the Wake Up America show. We are a 2-hour live stream morning talk show. We do it like news radio. We do it live. We have a blast. Fridays are special. I bring my family on, my smoking hot, sweet, redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie, who's with us right now.
Hello.
Justin Peterson will be joining us live at 8 a.m. Central Time to talk about the Democratic Party trying to recruit women. And we've got a billion clips and a billion fun topics and things to discuss this morning. Let's talk about it. Oh, this was a story, Stephanie. You brought this up to me yesterday.
I did, because I read it in the middle of the night. I was like, what? They're going to be changing grades if you have an app. So this is about San Francisco schools. Mm-hmm. They were going to be making the grades better than they actually are for students. So if they got like an F, they would bring it up to a C. If you got a B, you'd have an A. Sounds like they're kind of curving it.
Yes. So San Francisco already scrapped it. Okay. It was up for one day. They proposed it in which homework and attendance wouldn't affect grades.
Oh, okay.
So they got rid of that. And now it's gone.
The thing about attendance, I feel bad for kids when they are late and it's really not their fault, because usually it is their parents. I mean, how else do they get to school unless they're walking? If their parents are driving them, I feel bad for them when they're late. I do. It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, even because the thing is that they figure that you're supposed to. I mean, if they they would talk to the parents if that would become like a regular issue.
Yeah.
But like in some level, you're supposed to, even as a kid, you're supposed to start to like have the. Ride the bus or something. You know
right.
What I mean? So,
and I understand. And between classes, like if you're late for classes during the day, obviously your parents not driving you to every single class. So, yeah, you got to be good with not staying in the bathroom for too long between classes.
Right. So San Francisco school officials took a sudden U-turn on Wednesday on an initiative that would have effectively let students skip homework, cut class, and retake their exams. Parents and politicians alike, including the mayor, trashed the experimental Grading for Equity initiative as soon as the San Francisco Unified School District unveiled it on Tuesday. Things like class attendance and homework wouldn't have affected a student's final grade under the new system. Instead, grades would have been left up to a final exam, which students would be allowed to redo. Jesus, what is wrong with these people?
I don't know really how much tests have helped me for the real world other than for my social work exam. My social work exam was the last major test I had to take and actually pass. But now for CEUs, like I have to do continuing education, It's open book, open note, so you basically can cheat and just like read the answers and circle the correct answer in multiple choice. So I think knowing how to take a test is important, but I don't think you necessarily have to know how to take a closed book test.
Okay, well, I would prefer that. Yeah, I think that somebody should know how to take a closed book test, in my opinion. I think so. I think
it does test memory for sure. I mean, you have to memorize certain things in order to function in life. Mm-hmm. But now with the internet, ChatGPT, how much do you really have to remember? And I worry that that's actually going to affect our brains and make them less powerful over time.
Yeah, that's actually why this is like another news story that's been big. Is that
gosh, I'm just like bringing up all the news stories, with all the things I think about.
Yeah, this is actually a new a big news story. Blue books,
and so I'm going to talk more about this whole homework and school thing because I was a child who was married to my homework. I did homework for hours and hours at night. I did go to private schools, so they gave me so much homework. But my parents helped me with my homework. So really, my grades were a reflection of their work as well. Like my dad did my science projects. So if he's listening, he'll definitely know. Because there was just so much, and the standards were so high. So I really just think grading you on your homework, I don't know, maybe if it's just complete and it's done, maybe that should be good enough. Does it have to all be correct?
They were every student's worst nightmare. Now blue books are back. Cheating with ChatGPT has become a huge problem for colleges. The solution is painfully old school, right? Students who have been outsourcing their assignments to AI and cheating their way has become so rampant so quickly that it helped create a market for a product that helps professors ChatGPT-proof school. As it turns out, that product already exists. In fact, you probably used it. You might even dread it. It's called a blue book.
Yeah, the multiple choice test blue book.
The mere thought of the exam booklet with a blue cover and blank pages is enough to make generations of college kids clam up and make their hands cramp up. But inexpensive pamphlets of stapled paper have become a surprisingly valuable tool for teachers at a time when they need all the help that they can get. So, wow. So blue books are back because of AI cheating.
So I don't get how you can't use AI even when you have a blue book. Like the blue book is just for putting in answers and like circling the right one.
And essays too, right?
Oh.
Didn't you they also have like essay questions with blue books?
I don't remember specifically what I did with them, but even essays, you can just pre-write the essay or have some sort of notes using ChatGPT that you bring into the task.
Well,
I don't know.
No, because they think they probably make you leave your phone at the front when you come through. Yeah,
but I'm sure cheating methods have gotten so good. Remember back in the day, people would put their notes in their water bottle. Like if you like tape your notes on the outside. I never did the cheating thing, but I know all of the different ways people would. They'd put them on the bottom of their shoe, their answers, inside of their shoe, inside of their shirt.
Who didn't write a few equations in pen in the inside of their palm before they took a test? Have we all not seen?
Right. Or you know how we used to have those little folders that we would use as buffers between students, right? So you couldn't see. Mm-hmm. You could always sneak next to the folder and be like, "Oh, what is the person doing over there?" Right?
Yes.
Come on. The folders did nothing.
We're getting all kinds. We're getting all kinds of new commenters in the chat today. Yeah, we got to say hello to Dos Beckys.
Dos Beckys, are you a Hispanic?
Hispana.
You speaking Spanish? Espanol.
Dos Beckys in the chat. Whatever, even if she's not, it's a hilarious name. Very clever. She says that all of her essays were in blue books, all lulz, so much for moving to all electronics, right? Yeah, well, the thing about blue book, and everybody welcome Dos Beckys to the chat. We're glad to have you. Hopefully you'll become a regular viewer. We're 5 days a week, the Wake Up America show, and I'm Austin. This is my wife, Stephanie, and my brother, Justin's going to be here in like 30 minutes.
Good morning. Yeah, so blue book, so that just means you have to hand write everything.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard to copy and paste if you're handwriting.
Yeah, exactly. How can you cheat on an essay exam if even if you had like the answers, you'd still have to write it all out?
Right.
You still have to write the essays.
You just have to be a really fast writer.
Yeah. Well, you have to be a fast writer, and you also have to like be able to communicate the concept. Right. Somebody went and purchased a pair of earrings.
Are you
this
kidding
morning.
me?
Yes.
Did you use the code Don't Forget?
I hope so.
A lot of people, that's the funny thing. They buy stuff from our store and don't use our coupon codes.
They forget, and then they don't forget. Oh, he did. He used the coupon code. Good for you, bud.
10% off. Your lady will be very happy.
Yeah, and then my buddy Andy, he went over to the this shop and he bought a box of Thomas's Painkiller Coffee.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So we have unlocked the bonus content.
Great.
And that means that they get to enjoy that instead of watch the commercials when Justin comes up here in about. So about 15 minutes. We'll play the bonus content when we bring Justin on. Mm-hmm. You guys have unlocked it, but that doesn't mean you have to stop dropping Rumble Rants. Please, can you bless me with something?
It really does help us. I've actually run out of formula in both of Hazel's formulas, so we need to buy more.
It does.
Those are expensive.
There are two things that the money that you donate here goes to. One is to help us produce our Battle of Athens documentary, which the shoot is coming up very soon.
It's literally in like 2 weeks.
I'm getting nervous, man. It's exciting.
I don't blame you at all.
And then the rest of so when we're not spending money educating the American people about their history and their freedom, then we're spending it on baby formula. And diapers.
She is growing so exponentially huge.
She's getting huge, dude. It is crazy seeing her go. Like she's like me because you know how I eat. I'm like, baby Hazel. Like now that at first she was kind of like, I don't know how to like hold food and stuff.
Right, and all of her food would like fall out of her hand next to her little thighs.
Yes, yeah. We would pick her up out of the chair. All the food that we would give her, we would pick her up and it would all fall down back into the chair.
It's kind of like in your car, you know how they have those special inserts in your car seat so that things don't fall down? We need to like put one of those inserts next to her thighs so that her food doesn't fall down.
Well, she doesn't need them anymore because now she is like fully able to eat. And like, dude, you put chicken in front of this baby, put chicken and she's just like, and then I turn around and look and I'm like, where's all the chicken? And I think it's down around her in her chair. No, it's gone. That baby has eaten it. So
She loves beef, chicken.
Beef, chicken, and pork.
Yes, you do feed her pork. Mommy doesn't feed her pork, but Daddy does.
Mommy doesn't feed her pork because Mommy doesn't eat pork. Daddy eats pork and he feeds it to his baby.
That's right. I do make the bacon, though. I make the bacon to give to her. So I technically do feed it to her. And you, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys for hanging out with us in the chat on a Friday morning. It's beautiful to see Dos Becky, Steelbringer, Robbie Thurman, Entropy Nomad. Everybody's being very generous as well. I see Robbie's gifting some subs. Thanks, guys.
Oh, Robbie, thank you.
Don't forget, if you are a subscribing member, then you guys do get bonuses and perks. So if you are a monthly subscriber and you want to go shopping, then go to forlibertyshop.com and get a discount. We have that for our monthly subscribers. If you don't have your exclusive discount code, send us a text at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586 is the text line. You can also send us ideas, suggestions for things you'd like to see on the show, guests you'd like to see. On all of our monthly subscribers get that discount at the shop as long as you are a monthly subscriber. So everybody's being super generous over there in the chat. We're so grateful,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for supporting our small business and our family.
Can I make one more comment about what I think should happen for grading in school?
Yes.
I think it should be modeled like how a workplace is modeled. You don't necessarily get grades in a workplace, but you do get reviews, which are basically like grades where they give you a number out of like 5 of how you're doing. So I think whenever you do a project at school, you should have your boss, your teacher, critique the project. And if they think you need to improve on it, just like at work, right? Your boss will say, hey, change this, do this, right? They need to critique it. And then the student needs to fix it and make it better. So I think in terms of projects, that's probably how it should be. And papers too. The teacher needs to go through it, tell them what they can improve on and make them fix it. Because when you're in a job, you don't just like get an F and move on. You got to fix what you did wrong to make it right.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not just about completing something. It's about actually having a good finished product to present. So I think it should be more about improving on the things that you're doing.
So, I mean, a lot of parents, they teach their kids, maybe they teach them a trade or they teach them a skill. If there's one thing that I really want to teach Hazel, I want to teach her how to start her own business, how to like run and operate a business.
Oh yeah, I saw
because
something.
They just don't teach you stuff like that in school. They don't.
I saw a post from one of my old coworkers online of her daughter who's in 4th grade, and she just had a project in school where she had to take out a loan from her parents and start her own business. And she made a slime business. And then they had this little fair for all the kids to present their business, and they could sell their product. And so she sold out of all of her slime. And I think that is an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Aside from the loan from your parents' part, because it's like, what if your parents don't have money to give you to start a business?
It doesn't. If you can loan your kid money, do it. I mean, because look at Donald Trump, for example. He got started because his dad gave him a small loan of $1 million, and so he was able to. That's what he calls it. He's like, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million.
A small, really?
A small loan of $1 million.
Do you know what I could do with $1 million?
We could do a lot with $1 million.
I mean, we could open a Jimmy John's. We could.
Yeah.
We could do any type of franchise.
Maybe not. Actually, I'll be honest.
It's expensive. You have to have a lot of assets in order to open franchises.
It's stupid expensive.
Yes.
It's so much so that it doesn't kind of even really make sense to me. It's like you spent all of this money. How many years is it going to take people who buy into these franchises?
Right.
How many years is it before they're going to break even on these things? It's a huge risk, but it's like I kind of feel like, and maybe this is just my entrepreneurial spirit. But if I was gonna if I had $1 million to start a franchise or something like that, I would start my own franchise. Why would you want to go give Jimmy John's? You have to pay a licensing fee, $300,000 to $500,000 or some shit just to be able to use the right to use their name.
If I had $1 million,
if I had $1 million,
I'd buy you a house,
a sandwich shop. I would buy me a sandwich shop. No, I'd probably expand this business, right? I'd find new ways to explore. I would probably start really getting into more custom products for our shop, things that really are super exclusive, items that I think would be, have mass appeal and then you could afford. So for example, what we could do is we could take our coffee business, we could expand if we had say maybe, just $10,000 to $20,000 to burn. Then we could take our coffee business. We could lower our prices for our coffee, and we'd have to spend some money on marketing, of course.
We could make our own coffee in-house.
Yeah. Well, we could to some extent, but we could, for our own supplier, we could almost cut the cost of our coffee in half if we were just able to buy, maybe if we could spend $4,000 or $5,000 on it. But then, of course, you have to sell it all in order for it to work out. You have to sell a certain amount and then get it out there. But at some point, it might make sense for us to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because right now, our coffee is pricier. It is delicious. It is premium, ultra premium coffee. But because we have to buy it in smaller amounts, the price goes up a little bit.
I mean, imagine if our prices could be comparable to a Dunkin' Donuts or a Folgers.
Yeah.
We would definitely be ahead.
Yeah. So what do I want to do? I want to teach my daughter how to start a business, run a business, all of the hidden costs involved, the taxes involved. Those things are useful, right? Yeah. And I mean, most people, are they going to go out and be entrepreneurs and run businesses? No. Are they going to go work for somebody else? Yes. How do you teach those kids those skills, right? What are the useful skills for a jobber? Right.
You have to teach them time management, how to get places on time, how to complete your work in a good amount of time. Because if they're at a job and they're not getting their projects done that their boss wants them to get done, they're going to be in trouble. They have to learn how to get motivated and stay motivated. Because I hear from clients all the time, I just can't get motivated. I'm just not focusing enough. You have to learn how to give yourself rewards, give yourself a reason to continue to go on. And so I think those things will be important skills to learn. You have to learn how to read, write.
Yep.
You have to learn how to speak. Public speaking is so important, and kids nowadays are not learning how to speak. They're learning how to type everything.
You know what our problem is, Stephanie? Is that we're in the wrong business.
What in the world is this?
We need to sell your bathwater. Sydney Sweeney is selling a limited edition soap made with her own bathwater.
Is she an OnlyFans person?
No, she is an A-list Hollywood actress.
Oh, okay.
Sydney Sweeney is selling a limited edition soap made with her own bathwater. Fans always joke about wanting my bathwater. I was like, this is such a cool way to, quote, give them what they want. I like the first comment on here. He says, whoever buys this is a down bad loser. I'll take 10.
Wait, so this is bath water that she's put her dirty body into? And she sells that?
Yes, they want to drink her dirty bath water, Stephanie. Yes.
Yeah, I could see people wanting that. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney. But here's the thing. They sell this soap. They're probably going to sell this for like $20 a bar.
It can't be dirty. I mean, it has to pass some sort of safety regulation.
I mean, it's probably not even really her bath water.
No.
Right?
She probably doesn't even take baths. Most people take showers.
No.
I don't even take baths.
No, when you're that rich, you can take baths. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're a child, you take baths. And then if you're poor, you take showers for the rest of your life. But rich people take baths.
I know. I just don't have time.
We don't have space. We have a tub.
Yeah.
But we don't have.
You would not fit in it.
No. If I would try to sit down in our in our shower and take like a bath and tub, it would just spill out all over the place and there wouldn't be much water in there because it's just too tiny. But when you're rich, you've got a nice big tub, big open area. You can take my 250-pound ass and put it in there and fit in it. So Sydney Sweeney.
True. I do like bubble baths. I could see myself if I was like retired. I would have a bubble bath, candles, a nice book, music.
So we can have that, Stephanie, if you let me sell your bath water. What do you think?
I mean, if anyone wants to buy it, I'm willing. It's not like I'm like selling my body or anything. I'm just selling bath water.
Stephanie, I would never let that happen. I would never. I don't care how much.
It's not like you're asking me to make a vagina candle or something.
Yes, Dad Bob says
like one of those other celebrities.
Dad Bob says it's Dr. Squatch geared towards men. It's just a soap with her on it because she's fine as with huge bobs. Very true.
They didn't even put her bobs on the packaging. See, that's where they went wrong.
Bobs and vagine. I like this one. It says, so you have $36,000 in credit card debt. This is somebody calling in the Dave Ramsey show. So you have $36,000 in credit card debt and another $200K in unpaid student loans. Yes, Dave. And you just spent $690 on a soap called Sydney Sweeney's bath water. That's correct, Dave. Yes.
Oh, Dave Ramsey actually has a really good budgeting tool. If you look up Dave Ramsey budgeting app, he has a good budgeting app for everybody out there.
Yes. What kind of perverts live in Western countries? Asks Incognito. Sydney Sweeney selling 5,000.
People have got the weirdest fetishes, I tell you.
Hello, you dirty little boys.
Oh,
hello,
my gosh.
You dirty
That's
little
not even
boys.
her. That's AI.
No,
hello, you dirty little boys.
That might be her. It's getting harder and harder to tell, isn't
Yeah.
it? With the AI, right? Sydney Sweeney selling soap made with her actual bathwater in a collab with Dr. Squatch. Hello, you dirty little boys.
Hello, you dirty little boys.
Yeah, that might be her. It might not be her, but she's definitely selling
How about just
soap.
sell like used pool water? So like at least it has chlorine in it, so it's not super dirty, right?
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. She starts selling it next week.
I bet it's gonna be big.
This is AI. Oh my gosh, they're trying to show their poopy there. Be careful, Austin.
Oh my.
So there she is, Sydney Sweeney. As you can see.
What kind of movies is she in? Is she a porn star?
No.
Okay.
She's in a lot of good movies. But Sydney Sweeney, she's kind of like the hot new thing. She's on Saturday Night Live recently. And as you can see, she has generous, full, voluptuous lips.
She does.
Justin Peterson's joining us here in 10 minutes, guys. Don't
Wow,
go
look
away.
at that. You know, so many boobs, so little time. Seriously. Yeah.
No man would ever buy that. What about if it's a gift for a guy friend?
I would buy it for you, Austin. Would you use it?
No, I would not rub that nasty woman's bathwater all over me. No, I would never do something like that.
That's why ladies have to go to forlibertyshop.com and get their man something that's more respectable.
Yes. Dad Bod Baboon loves it. He says, this is great. Bring back the sexy commercials like the Carl's Jr. ones we used to have before the whole hashtag MeToo BS. Yes.
That's right. This is what men want. This is how the Democratic Party is gonna come back alive.
Yes.
Just sell some of that bathwater soap to the Democratic men and they'll be back.
You can see Willem Dafoe. He's taking a nice big drink of it. Gives him special pleasure.
Gross.
Well, she got this idea because there was some like porn chick who did this. She had the original idea. It was like Belle Delphine or something like that. Prison Mitch, guys getting ready to hop in the tub when they get there sitting.
Those women on OnlyFans, they even sell their spit. I mean, they sell any type of fluid that comes out of their body. You know, they sell their underpants. Men want that stuff.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so nasty. I mean, like the funny thing is, like I always like when I was a young guy, you know, I always thought I was like, oh, I'm perverted and stuff like that. But then when I started seeing what people were actually doing out there, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm actually pretty normal compared to these people.
Yeah.
There's this guy. His name's Glenn Greenwald. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's kind of like this kind of progressive anti-Israel activist.
Okay.
And he's very popular, especially with like libertarians and stuff. But he's a gay guy, and this video came out of him wearing a woman's mini skirt and like sucking on this black dude's toes.
And he's pro-Palestine?
Yeah, he's like a big like Palestinian activist.
Right. Yeah, he'd be killed if he got to Palestine.
Oh yeah. They would murder him. I won't pull it up on the stream, but if I type it, you'll be able to see it over here on my chat thing here. But it's trending right now, and it's weird. It looks like he's got some kind of like major injury or something like that, where like people are. Yeah, here it is. So this is him in this video, Stephanie. Well, I'll just describe it to you because I'm not gonna pull it up on the feed, but you can see it here. He's got some kind of like like
it's a sling. It's like a sling for his body to hold his skin together.
Yeah.
Some sort of surgery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he has a scar like on his.
It looks like two
close
scars
to like his rib area,
right next to each other.
Okay.
Here. Yeah. So Glenn Greenwald is, you know, is kind of trending right now because of this. Well, I mean, what else would you call this? Degeneracy, right? And, you know, listen, this kind of stuff happens all the time. It happens in private. Nobody wants to see this out in public, but it's just really
Well, what is he doing?
Weird.
Just showing his scars?
No, the video, I won't play the video for you because it's too disgusting. And Justin's going to be joining us here in about 5 minutes anyway. But he's like, he paid allegedly. Because some people are saying this is a deep fake. I should say this is allegedly Glenn Greenwald. This is allegedly Glenn Greenwald. Some people are saying it's a deep fake. If so, it's a good one because they put some kind of strange scar on him. Maybe it's just they superimposed his face on it. I saw the video, looked fairly real, pretty disgusting, and allegedly he paid $2,000 to like have this session with this man. And they showed the receipts and everything. So
like an OnlyFans session?
No, it was in real life. In real life,
okay.
Yeah. If this picture, if this were the video, it plays like it shows him like sucking on the dude's toes and doing all kinds
like a
of
dominatrix kind of situation. Maybe.
Yeah, Glenn Greenwald. So like people are like rallying to him. He's kind of like seen as like the big like pro-Palestine guy, and so. Greenwald as in Snowden, yes, that Glenn Greenwald. But
to be successful, you just have to let go of all your values, all your morals.
Yeah, in a large part. Yeah, pretty much.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't just be a good person anymore.
No, you can't. I don't know if you ever really could, Stephanie. It's a sad reality, but we'll talk about that more with my brother, Justin Peterson, who's coming up next. You guys have unlocked the bonus content. Thanks for all you do. Don't go away. Enjoy the bonus content. Go shopping at forlibertyshop.com during the break. Enjoy our little mini documentary that you guys unlocked with your generosity. We'll be back with Justin Peterson to talk about why everybody hates men. It's a Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. State antics. Sweden has decided it really needs to protect people from paying for OnlyFans content. A few days ago, Swedish authorities voted to criminalize the purchase of remote sexual services. That means if you pay someone for sexy pictures or a live erotic webcam show online, you could now be breaking the law. This is all part of Sweden's famous Nordic model of sex work laws. Quick primer. Since 1999, Sweden has made it illegal to buy sex, but legal to sell it. In their view, all prostitution is exploitation, so the person selling is treated like a victim, and the buyer is treated like the criminal. Now they're expanding that to the internet. You commission a custom video or tip a cam girl to do something specific on live stream. That's a potential sex crime. You could go to jail for up to a year. But here's the kicker. You can still legally watch mainstream porn, subscribe to an OnlyFans creator, and watch their regular posts? Totally fine. Buy a DVD or watch Pornhub. Knock yourself out. The line gets crossed when you ask for anything personalized.
So if you pay someone to make a specific video just for you, suddenly that's now on the same level as buying sex in a back alley. Let that sink in. Sweden has now made it more legally dangerous to pay a consenting adult for a custom video than it is to pirate porn from a sketchy website. Support the big platforms or giant studios? That's okay. Tip an independent content creator directly? Nope, now you're a predator. It's like they want you to consume adult content, but only if you don't pay the actual person who made it. Even Swedish officials admit this will be hard to enforce. What's the plan? OnlyFans sting operations? Undercover cyber vice cops combing through spicy DMs? The resources being wasted here could be used to fight real trafficking or abuse. Instead, they're targeting consensual adult content. And the people affected? Furious. Sex workers are speaking out, warning that this will just drive their work underground and make it more dangerous. Civil society groups, researchers, and even feminist orgs begged lawmakers not to pass this law, but they were ignored. Some politicians even claimed the emails protesting the law were too well written to actually be from sex workers. The arrogance is stunning. Let's take Kara, a Swedish OnlyFans creator. She's a law student. When this passed, she said she cried, not out of guilt or shame, but out of fear. She's thinking about leaving her own country just to keep doing her job safely. And she's worried her boyfriend could be charged just for living in the same apartment where she streams. That's the world Sweden just created. One where loving someone who does online adult content can get you a prison sentence. Supporters of the law say this will stop exploitation, but that's just not true. What it will do is push creators into darker corners of the internet where they have fewer options and protections. When you criminalize the buyer, you don't end the transaction. You just make it more dangerous for the seller. And there's a huge free speech issue here too. Sweden likes to think of itself as a beacon of expression, but now it's telling people what kind of content they can or can't create, based on what offends politicians. This isn't about stopping abuse. This is about control. This is the government telling adults they're not allowed to make their own choices. Now, before we get too smug here in America, keep this in mind. Sweden pioneered this model, and countries like France and Norway copied it. Even a few places here in the US are trying to push similar policies. We are not immune to this creeping authoritarianism. There are lawmakers who would love to police what you say, see, or share online, all for your own good. The difference? We have the First Amendment, and thank God for it. Our speech, our content, our consensual adult choices, these are protected, at least for now. But if we don't stay vigilant, we could wake up one day and find we're just one moral panic away from our own version of this insanity. So let's celebrate the fact that we live in a country where freedom still means something. And while we're at it, check out the Summer of Freedom collection at forlibertyshop.com. Wear it proudly, because whether it's your speech, your job, or your lifestyle, liberty matters. Thanks for tuning in. Founding fathers dreamed of liberty. They forgot one thing: coffee. Introducing Founding Flavors Coffee, the brew that built America, and the brew that's fueling a new revolution, one kitchen at a time. Small batch roasted, Patriot approved, and disappearing faster than a red coat at Yorktown. Don't get left behind, soldier. Real patriots are starting their mornings with Founding Flavors. And trust us, freedom tastes better with a fresh cup in your hand. Stop drinking those tyrant brews who take your money and don't support your values. Stocks are limited, demand is booming, and your morning deserves a taste of liberty. Order now at forlibertyshop.com before the next shipment gets signed, sealed, and sold out. Founding Flavors Coffee, the official brew of morning rebellions everywhere. Get yours at forlibertyshop.com.
This right here is the perfect example of why the Democratic Party is absolutely cooked. And what makes it so crazy, this is just a small example, but this should just give you an idea of the thought process that went into this. Like, what? So apparently Democrats are investing $20 million into launching a campaign called SAM, Speaking with American Men. And they're doing that to try to win over the hearts and minds of young men that they feel that they've lost. And I'm not making this up. First of all, time out. Flag on the play, time out. It's called SAM. Already they're gaslighting. It's called SAM. But you say Speaking with American Men. Are they purposely leaving out with? Like, what are we doing here? Shouldn't it be called SWAM? But see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what Democrats do. That's gaslighting. They know people are going to go, wait a minute, why are you calling it SAM? You guys are saying Speaking with American Men. Shouldn't it be called SWAM? But this is what they do. It's little shit like that. It's the reason that people are leaving Democrats. They don't think anything through. They're just doing stuff. Somebody on the Democratic team, they think they absolutely fucking cooked with this. Somebody thinks that they just absolutely ate this shit down. They cooked when they came up with the SAM, Speaking with American. Oh my God. This is the Democratic Party. This is why they're cooked. And they think they're doing well. If I was a Democrat, I would be so pissed. This is why I left. If I was a Democrat, I would be so mad. I'm like, who made the decision? Did anybody check? How many minds did this idea filter through and nobody said no?
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Freedom Family Friday means my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wifey.
Hello.
Wifey.
I'm not just a waifu pillow.
She is.
I'm real.
She's a great cuddler. Joining us live right now, someone who I've never cuddled, maybe once when I was like 5 or 6. My brother Justin Peterson joining us live on the Wake Up America show, keeping it weird. What's up, JP?
Hey, you know, I just thought about a memory when it would be cold in the winters and we would lie on the heating furnaces downstairs in the dining room, you know. So we would like cuddle up on those heaters, you know, to stay warm in the.
And weren't they like kerosene powered heaters? They'd be like actual flames in the heater.
Well, but it was wonderful. Like if you're not a country kid, man, if you've never laid on a furnace heater, like one of those floor heaters, you know, that comes up with all the vents. Oh man, we would Austin and I would beat our PJs in like, you know, on a crisp, cold Missouri morning, and we'd be laying on those heaters to kind of stay warm before school.
I seem to remember though that we had like not only kerosene heaters but kerosene lamps. So
when the power would go out.
How did you not start on fire?
Well, mom would go and get the kerosene lamps because you'd have the ones they'd have wicks. Remember, you'd have to like turn it and the wick would come up, and then mom would stick in the very long. She'd buy those long matches. And then she'd light that kerosene lamp. And if there was a tornado or something, you know, you had to go in the basement. You had the kerosene lamps. You know, you're ready to go.
Oh yeah. And we also had a big old front, like remember the one in the kitchen, the middle of the kitchen? It was like a big heater. Yeah, well, I think that was a fire heater that we had in the kitchen.
All you have to do, Stephanie, if you do that, is just reach over and touch that little mute button, so you don't have to worry about that again. Kerosene lanterns, country living, Justin, just like that video I posted yesterday of me doing my chores. Dad,
I just laughed a little bit.
Dad called me yesterday. He said, "You know what? I really connected with that video, Austin." He's like, "I really felt." I was like, "You know what? You were the target audience, Dad." Yeah,
Is anybody better than Dad? Is anybody better than Dad? I'm telling you right now.
No, he's the best. That's the Freedom Family right there. Austin, Stephanie, Justin, and Papa Peterson. We are.
That's right.
All together now. We are the boys. Justin, speaking of boys, they hate us. And it's not just Democrats. Republicans too. We're going to beat up on the Democrats for a little while. But let's not forget that the Republicans want to send our boys to wars to die and you know, destroy us with taxes and tariffs so we can't compete against their old white male businesses, and they refuse to retire. So there's plenty of criticism going to be aimed at the right. But the Democrats stepped in it with their SAM, not SWAM initiative. $20 million is definitely, in my mind, that seems really low with an initiative to try and understand men and why they can't get male voters. What's your reaction to this story, Justin?
I mean, I just think it's so pandering, but it's also funny to me. It's like there was this in Africa. They had this situation where they chased out all the white farmers, you know, and then they realized, oh wait, there's a brain trust here. There's a knowledge base of agricultural savvy that we've lost. Please come back. We need you to be the farmers again. So it strikes me as a sort of a parallel thing. You chase people away, and then you don't realize, oh wait, actually we need these people. These people are necessary to the success of our mission. And so this is what again, I rail about identity politics, but again, this is what you get when you betray or you outlie people from your group and you say, oh, we don't like you, or you are the core problem of every situational tragedy that's ever occurred in the history of the human species. I mean, think about a kid sitting in class and being like, you're a white male straight guy. Everything wrong in the world is because of you. I'm like, oh, gee, I just brought my lunch to school today. I didn't know, it's going to cause problems. So now they're doubling down. They're saying, oops, we messed up. I don't know. I cannot seem to summon pity. I can't seem to do it. I can't seem to summon any pity for people that have shot themselves in the foot.
Well, what's amazing too is that like they talk all this stuff about men. They talk all this smack about men, but the men that they lift up are not only are they like soy boys, Justin.
Yes.
They're not only like the Tim Walls and
Yes.
I saw the Babylon Bee headline yesterday. So funny. Democrats plan to attract men to vote Democrat by hiring gay man to grow a beard. Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
You know what the women need to do? They need to put tape on their mouth and open their ears and listen.
Yeah, then lock him in the closet.
That is going to attract the men. Just ask the men questions and listen and shut up.
We need to bring back wife spanking. And what
Yes.
about?
Well, you know what? You're actually right, though, because when I was in a fraternity, let me tell you a story. When I was in a fraternity in college, which, can you believe it? I was in a fraternity.
Wow.
I had a great time in a fraternity. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
That's-
Do you know
that
what
is
I was in charge
interesting.
of as the fraternity in that fraternity? I was in charge of social events. Do you think I didn't play the best music at the parties? Do you think I didn't have the best stuff and get the girls down there? They were smart. They knew what they were doing by putting me in that position because they knew that I would throw a banging party and get the gals over there, because they were like, God, get us some chicks, Justin. So that's what I would do. I would be like the mercenary to get the women down at the frat house,
Dude, that was always my strategy in college too, was to go to the gay bars because you'd be the only straight guy there, and the competition was amazing. You had almost no competition.
So I don't understand Democrats like they just need some good gay guys or something running stuff. Like
but
smart
then
gay guys.
Justin, you've got like people like Andrew Cuomo, who had to resign because he abused women, now running again in New York, and those are and so they're either soy boys or they're abusers, and yet hashtag Me Too, but only if you have an R after your name.
Yeah, I guess, because what happened to that one Democratic guy that was the comedian that used to do Stuart Smalley or whatever his name was on SNL? What was his name? He was from Michigan.
Stuart.
Was he from Michigan? Or no, what was his name? He was the comedian from SNL. I can't remember his name.
Wait, did he do the Stewart skit?
No, you're thinking that's Mad TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's Matt TV. Who was it? You're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you.
Oh, yeah,
That
this is
guy.
the senator, Al Franken.
Al Franken. Well, remember how is he coming back?
I guess not after what he did. He took a picture of himself clowning a chick who was asleep, pretending like he was grabbing her boobs.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like, it's amazing to me who gets out of cancel jail.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always amazed by who gets out of cancel jail. I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting?
You know what
nobody
the
on the
truth
right
is
ever
they
gets
probably it's probably how much can you buy? You can probably buy your way out of it, right?
Yeah.
You bribe your way.
Well, look at Rowling, J.K. Rowling. She has FU money.
Yes.
Right? I mean, she's not affected by any of this stuff, which is kind of great when you see an Elon. You see people at the top of the food chain monetarily who are just impenetrable to this stuff. And it's kind of like, oh, at least they won't get somebody. It's so Salem witch trials. I can't even tell you. It just drives me bonkers.
Here's Pete Buttigieg talking about their recruitment efforts.
Of course, we should be talking about how.
Oh, God.
Of course, we should be talking about how, if Speaker Johnson got his way, it wouldn't be possible, not just for gay people to get married, but for straight people to get divorced, let alone like birth control or how he would want to regulate porn or whatever most people would have a problem with. But
okay, so
Wait, what is he talking about?
So they brought Pete Buttigieg out to talk about their recruitment efforts for men. He's got a beard now, and he's talking about how
I'm not going to make any comments about his facial hair because I know how obnoxious it is when people make comments about yours. So I am not making any comments about his facial hair.
This is, well, people like Austin, people who are like Austin grow a beard. I'm like, no, because like sometimes it can look like that, where it's kind of scraggly and nasty.
Oh, I look like a Vietnam. I look like a radiation victim when I grow facial hair. I look terrible. I look like I've been in Moscow during like one of those 3 Mile Island situations. Yeah, I'm like, I look like. Have you been near 3 Mile Island? Because your facial looks really weird. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no. Justin and I are not beard growers, but mustache havers, yes. Which, speaking of, like yesterday, Stephanie and I were saying we saw this Magnum PI fashion is coming back. And it's like all the young men now. What are you doing? That facial expression,
like
Justin. You like it? You like the Magnum PI?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
love it.
I do too. We need to get some Magnum PI clips up in here.
We need some big ass cigars and some floral print T-shirts. That's what I'm saying.
Have I ever watched the movie? I don't even know.
It's a TV show.
Oh, a TV show. Clearly I have not seen it. I guess we got to watch some Magnum PI.
It's the Tom song. But yesterday, Stephanie and I were watching that reel as we were laying down to sleep last night. Magnum PI, and the reel was saying though you got to be careful about this because not everybody can pull off the shorts because of the legs. So that's one thing you got to watch out for. Yeah, not everybody can pull off. But the Tom Selleck mustache is back. Yes, flowery shorts.
Who comes up with these trends? I just really wonder. Like does someone wake up one day and say, I'm going to make this a trend.
No.
Let's go.
No, what happens is that people like Austin grow out their mustache. People talk shit about it for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden, it's like that episode of I Love Lucy where her and Ethel were wearing the burlap bags because Ricky and Fred were playing a joke on them saying, oh, you're going to wear this. This is the latest fashion. And so they showed up and Lucy and Ethel were like, oh, yeah, we're going to show up to the Babalu Club or whatever. And we're gonna wear our burlap bags, and they didn't realize that they were being made fun of. And then they went back the next week, and these hot models were wearing the burlap bags because they had seen them doing it. And then now all of a sudden it was cool, and that's how it is.
I've got a quote for you. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Right there.
Yeah, it's true. I'm just in my own little trend. I mean, my clothes I've had in my closet since the early 2000s because I still fit into them. So that's my trend. I just go with the early 2000s.
Well, what they don't tell you is it's like your trends, whatever you had when you were kids, they're going to come back around. It's like when our choir teacher, Stephen Orr, in high school, when I was in high school in the 90s, we went to Mr. Orr's house. And he gave us all of his bell-bottom jeans that he wore when he was in high school because everybody wanted to wear bell-bottoms again. It just became a thing. Right now, nobody wears bell-bottoms again. But like, people are still buying Jinko jeans. Do you remember those gigantic Jinko jeans, Justin?
Well, I know that it's usually on a 20-year cycle. It's crazy to me that I see kids wearing Pearl Jam T-shirts who weren't even alive when Pearl Jam was a band. And so it's I don't remember if you remember this, but I remember girls would always wear those little collared little necklaces in the 90s. That was like a big thing.
A collared necklace? What do you mean?
Yeah, it would be like they would wear like little collar necklace. That would be like it was huge in the 90s.
Made out of pantyhose. So you cut your pantyhose and you wear them as a choker.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
That's how they were stretchy and comfy. They were pantyhose.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. This is news to me.
This is why it's good to have like lady representation on the show, honestly.
I'm just ready for I've heard this thing called granny core. Have you heard about this thing called
granny core? No. What is granny core, Justin?
So I guess granny core is like women, or I guess it could be guys, but who love to like dress really old and like they fill their houses with antiques and they just it's like they're living into their granny core era. I kind of think it's really funny, but it's sort of the same idea. It's like you find that trend of like, oh, I'm going to get into the granny core stuff. And there's a certain section of people who are really into granny core and they just love antiquing and old like furniture and, wearing old clothes.
It's like vintage.
Bro, yes. Okay, so I found a picture. Ariana Grande, they're saying she's wearing granny core this outfit that she's wearing. I don't
that's
think
like 1950s.
I don't think Granny would have her midriff showing like that. But then they got Betty White shaking her cans right there at Granny Core.
I guess you could call me Granny Core, possibly. I'm very modest.
Well, yeah, you're modest, but I mean, you're not Granny Core. It's a little different there, Granny Core. But it's just like more traditional clothing, which
like sweaters, really thick sweaters.
Yes, with sweaters and like warm little, cozy things and like, more modest clothes. But also just like an aesthetic of Granny, which is like you would fill your house with like doilies and like you would have like different things in your house that would be reminiscent of Grandma. So
our house is kind of Grandma Core because we
sort of.
try to do like the era of like the 1940s, like in our dining room. So. Yeah, I guess you could say we're a little granny-ish here.
Granny and grandpa-ish. But we need to get that picture of the man. What is that famous painting, Justin? Is it a homeless man praying, or what's the story?
Yes, that's right. It's a Lutheran. It was made by the Lutheran Church. I found out. I did some homework on that, and it was a hugely popular painting in the 20th century of a guy, and I think he was homeless. The artist brought him in off the street and like painted him praying at a table with bread and everything. And the Lutheran Church took that and they made bajillions of dollars just selling prints of that painting.
Oh, it's called Grace. The painting is called Grace. I'm going to
wait. So what?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Is he like a grandpa?
The story behind Grace is I guess the story is that the guy that was the model for the painting was a homeless person. But this is a painting that we had in our house, in Grandpa's house. Speaking of Grandpa, this is Grandpa.
You know why?
So this is like Grandpa Core because your grandpa had the picture. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's because great grandpa was Lutheran, and because the Lutheran Church sold that painting like in mass, and I think that's how Grandpa Hans got it. I think it was his dad's.
Yeah. So it was originally a photo, and then it was later painted in oils. Grace was the name of the painting. The photo was taken in 1918. So Wilden, selling foot scrapers, called upon Enstrom. Enstrom was in the midst of preparing a portfolio of photos. Wilden agreed to be photographed. They arranged a bread with gruel, spectacles, and a Bible, asking to bow in prayer. I wanted to take a picture that would show people that even though they had to do without many things because of the war, they still had much to be thankful for. So it was World War I. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Famous picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that
interesting
in the Garden
to
of
me.
Gethsemane. Oh, sorry. That was the other painting Grandpa had, was the Gethsemane.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's interesting to me what motivates people in their home. What they like to look at. Because so many people nowadays, they just have that generic TJ Maxx decor where it's like, welcome, home, family, together.
Live, laugh, love.
It's like very generic images. And we talk about that a lot, Austin, because with your art here in this house, it's kind of like a museum in a way. There's always something very interesting to look at. And so I think that speaks to your personality.
Yeah, well, I just like to have good conversations and just think about the past and how it led us to where we're at today. Sometimes because
and things mean things, Yeah, and things mean things.
Yeah.
It's like, your house should have things that are meaningful to you, that they have a story that's part of who you are. That's one of the things I used to love as a little kid when people would come to visit our house growing up. Mom would have, her tourism skills were amazing. She could walk through the entire farm and tell you where everything was, where every piece of furniture came from, where every painting on the wall came from and what it meant. I mean, that everything had meaning. Everything in our house had meaning. And I think that that's really very effective to a person when they're thinking about building a home.
Yeah.
It's like, what's valuable to you?
I like to think about history just because I want to avoid being doomed and repeating it. But New Yorkers are the type of people who love the pain, and they'll never learn from the mistakes of socialist past. This is a mayoral candidate, Justin, who in New York City has a radical new proposal. Really, it's just an old proposal to freeze the rent. Take a listen.
I'm Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani, and I'm running for mayor to freeze the rent for every rent-stabilized tenant.
Wait, you're gonna freeze my rent?
Yes.
Did I hear rent freeze?
Yes! This guy's gonna freeze the rent. No hike?
None.
This guy's gonna freeze the rent.
It's true. As your next mayor, I will freeze your rent.
Paid for by Zohran for NYC.
Zohran Mamdani in New York City, running on a platform of, he's a open socialist, running on a platform of freezing the rent. Justin, your reaction?
Well, they hate landlords. I mean, that's the thing that I know they do. But then he was saying something along the lines of freezing the rent for rent-stabilized apartments. Mm-hmm. Well, isn't by nature a rent-stabilized apartment stabilized? I mean, it's just like saying I'm gonna put water in the river. I'm like, of course, there's already water in the river. What are you doing? Makes no sense. So they actively hate landlords. I mean, they just hate landlords.
Well, this is, and it becomes essentially it ends up with NIMBYism because they are not able to, they're not able to build new housing, and then everybody wonders why it's impossible to find a place to live in New York City. Well, it's because the supply gets restricted when you do something like that.
And I can see how tempting this commercial is because anybody who's lived in an apartment. You know, I've lived in apartments and the rent always gets raised every year, sometimes hundreds of dollars more. And so I can understand that freezing rent would be wonderful for your pocketbook. And so it's so tempting to get behind this message and be like, oh, I want my rent to be freezed. Yes, but that message is a lie because I think there's definitely like some fine print there where it's not going to freeze all rent. It's only going to freeze like Section 8 housing rent or something.
Yep. He's a Democratic Socialist, Zohran Mamdani, in New York City. He's a New York Assembly member running for mayor to freeze the rent, make buses fast and free, and deliver free universal child care.
Wow.
Democratic Socialist. Yeah, free universal
I mean,
childcare.
it's so tempting. Like, imagine if we had free childcare for Hazel.
You would never want to take your child to a free childcare facility if you are not paying directly for it and the accountability is not. Can you imagine?
We already have, some concerns when we go to YMCA because the childcare is free with our membership, right?
Yep.
So imagine truly free help. Yep. Free childcare, it would not be good quality.
Quest Fanning says Zohran uses the same colors in campaign lit as the colors of the Zoltan machine from Big. Thanks for that Rumble rant.
Interesting. Wow, you're smart.
Can you imagine? Like it'd be like it's like child gulags they send him to. You know what I mean?
You will make the widgets. You will make the widgets.
Yes. He's gonna get the poor vote. I would not be surprised if he wins. Because these things sound so appealing.
This is New York City we're talking about after all. So, I can absolutely see New Yorkers doing something completely stupid and voting for something like that.
Well, they were thrilled about that part of New York City where they were going to do, was it rush hour charge or like a toll? So if you drove through the city at a particular time of day.
The surge pricing for driving downtown.
And guess who that affects? The people, the working class, the people who have to go downtown and work, in their apartments and take care of these people's dogs or take care of these people's children. It doesn't affect the upper class. I mean, there is no middle class in New York. Isn't that funny? Everybody in New York that's middle class or working class lives outside the city and has to commute into New York City to go to work. You can't live in the city that you work in. You have to commute in, which, to me is a bunch of horse beat, SHIT. And they push the middle class out of New York City. Same in San Francisco. They just get rid of the middle class so that only the most wealthy and the most abject poor can live in that city. It's just, who is planning this stuff? Who are these urban planners? They suck at their job.
Yeah.
Socialism, I can compare to like Adam and Eve. It's like Eve holding an apple and being like, come here, come on. You want to eat it. It's going to help you with everything. Like that's what socialism is. It's this like temptress, but it's evil.
Well, it's like a mousetrap.
Yes.
There's cheese in a mousetrap, right? Don't take the cheese because it's a trap. Right. It's going to kill you. The thing is that we kind of slow march your way, and this is what Ronald Reagan was talking about when he said you're always just one generation away from extinction. Because the next generation that's raised up probably didn't live in socialism, but the people who are raised in socialism, they're all dying to get out. Nobody is on a raft made of popsicle sticks to escape free market capitalism. The people who are floating across the ocean in the Gulf of America are doing so to escape Cuban communism and Cuban socialism. The problem is the kids, they don't know how good they have it. And so in countries like the United States, they've got it so good that they look for problems. It's like that mouse experiment that they did where they gave them everything that they wanted. Justin, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a mouse experiment where when the mice were given everything, when they didn't have to struggle, when they didn't have to work for resources or compete with each other, they ate each other alive and the entire colony died out. Because people, I don't say people need to have struggles, but you need to have some kind of friction in life in order to define yourself. Iron sharpens iron to an extent, right?
Yes. Well, and I just think the idea of socialism is predicated upon a utopian idea, which is literally fantasy. It's not based in reality. It's not based in how things work. It's based in a fantasy of how things will work once you implement the system. And I'm like, I'm not taking that chance. I don't want to take that chance. And, I don't know. I like you said, Austin, so much of what I've learned in my life, Og, I have to tell you, I've learned from you. Because you will say things like, how much, if 100% of a man's, if you take 100% of a man's salary and that's slavery, well, at what percentage is it not slavery? And the socialists just have their hands out all the time for your money. And it's just like, we want your money and it's for the common good, the common good, the common good. And it's like, well, and then they berate you because it's like they talk about the social contract all the time. I'm like, but we have a social contract. I'm like, I didn't sign nothing. I didn't sign no social contract.
I didn't sign shit. Thank you,
I
Justin.
didn't sign shit. Yeah, no, but yeah, it's just a nonsense. When you really sit down with it and you say to yourself, okay, let me try to be as non-passionate, as non-judgmental as I can and really look at this, you realize it's just a house of cards. And the minute you pull a couple cards out of that thing, it just comes crumbling down. And the fact that young people keep pushing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Real quick, let's take a quick 30-second detour to visit forlibertyshop.com. Buy yourself a pair of custom earrings, ladies. We've got some beautiful earrings. If you go to forlibertyshop.com, you can see our custom earring collection. We now have a sale going on. Use the code. Don't forget to save 10%. Is that correct, Stephanie?
Yep,
10%?
DONTFORGET.
And some of our earrings are quite pricey because some of them are made out of unexploded bombs. And we also have some... and also some made out of bullet casings. So it's a good time to get a discount on our earring collection at forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. Head on over right now, guys. While you're watching the Wake Up America show, go to number 4libertyshop.com, forlibertyshop.com. Check out the earring collection. Buy 2 or 3 pair. And don't forget to add that discount code. Don't forget. That's it. Don't forget is the discount code at forlibertyshop.com. We know you've been eyeballing our beautiful earrings, so get some right now while they're on sale for summer. Buy them for your lady friend, gentlemen, or ladies, buy it for yourselves at forlibertyshop.com. Somebody says wearing those through the TSA could be fun. Very true, Drew.
For your gentleman lady friend.
Yes, for your gentleman friend to put it in his Prince Albert or whatever.
No, I'm saying your gentleman lady friend. It's like he might want to wear them too. My gentleman lady friend.
Justin, would you ever take Ozempic?
No.
I mean, why not?
I would take, what I would take before I would take Ozempic?
What?
I would take steroids before I take Ozempic.
Oh,
Wow.
Cool. I would take steroids and Ozempic at the same time.
Even with the steroid
because the steroids do the same thing. I mean, they increase muscle mass and they decrease fat accumulation. So you'd be better off just taking testosterone.
Just testosterone. So not there's TRT and there's HRT. I don't know the difference. Do you know the difference, Justin?
HRT. I'm blanking on that one.
Okay.
But
women
there's also
can take HRT, I think, for like postmenopause.
Yep.
They do hormone. It's just hormone replacement therapy.
HRT, hormone replacement, and then testosterone replacement both address different imbalances with a different scope. HRT is a broad term for therapies to treat deficiencies or imbalances like menopause for women, hypothyroidism. Ooh, that sounds nice. Or adrenal issues. TRTs is specifically focused on testosterone supplementation, typically for men with low testosterone. Yeah, I actually had my testosterone tested, and I had good testosterone levels, which is
can confirm.
Kind of rare. Yeah, kind of rare for 44 years old. Have you gotten your testosterone tested, Justin?
I want to say like 2 years ago, and they said it was good. I am going to eventually. I am going to go on it. I am going to go on it. because, you know, as you get older, you just start to feel lethargic and you start to feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody that I know that has taken testosterone as a guy has said it's amazing. Like you feel better, you feel more alive, your mood is better. So I'm definitely going to be talking to my primary care physician at some point.
Yeah,
about
I think
that.
I will too, honestly. But after we have the second kid, so I don't want to do anything weird with my hormones until I've had my second child. I don't want to, like, you know, have one of those like Turkish babies with their skin inside out.
Maybe
or
that's
something,
what causes autism rather than the vaccines,
yeah,
huh?
TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah. But
so to answer your question, no, Ozempic, no. I don't, guys, can I make a confession? I don't like stomach problems. Like, I am so sensitive about stomach stuff. Like, listen, cut off my freaking arm, okay? Cut off my arm. But give me something with my stomach, and I literally want to crawl in a hole and die. Like,
does it cause stomach problems?
Yeah, it causes like nausea, and and if you've never had medically induced nausea, just thank every star in the heavens that you have never had medically induced nausea. It is literally the worst, horrible pain, horrible thing you can ever have. I had it when I was in high school, and I wanted to flip and die. I wanted to die. I was like, this is worse than anything I've ever experienced in my life. Medically induced nausea is, oh my God. There's no strata in hell deep enough for how horrible that is. It's awful.
yeah. I think I have to explain myself. Relaxium McGroin was saying a Turkish inside out baby. Yes. Okay. So I won't Google it, but you can Google it. But it's like whenever they always show these pictures of babies like this, like really, really, really rare disease. And usually like the child like dies in childbirth, is like stillborn or whatever. But whenever like the anti-war people want to like freak us all out and be like, look, it's depleted uranium in the Iraqi babies. It's making the Iraqi babies turn inside out and flush. They take this picture of children with these rare genetic diseases, and they're like, their skin is all like purple and mottled, and their eyeballs are red, and their tongues are sticking out. And it's like, look, this is what happens in war. And it's like, no, that's just your average, standard, typical inside out Turkish baby, you know?
That's your Turkish inside out baby. You guys, I don't have enough alcohol for this hilarity this morning. I need a mimosa.
Libertarians get so mad at me because I don't jump on board their weird anti-war, pro-Palestine fetishes, but I'm just so fucking done with the anti-Israel, pro-Palestine, homosexual libertarians for Hamas. Fuck them all.
I mean, I care about babies and children. Definitely don't want to kill any children.
I don't care about all babies
sure.
and children. I won't lie. I don't care about all babies and children. I can't. I don't have enough empathy in the world. There's not enough empathy.
Well, yeah, you
in
can't
one
save them
human
all.
being for all the babies in all the world. I'm not a stinking, stupid, goddamn hippie. I care about babies that I can care about to the greatest extent that I can. But otherwise, like, you know, if somebody holds up a baby, their own baby, and they're a terrorist and they blow themselves up with their own baby, you know, it's a tragedy, but I'm not losing sleep over it, right? I just can't. They're just, you know, I'm not going to pretend, oh, they're killing babies. Well, you know.
You're hitting on something big, though, Austin. You're hitting on something really big there because, you know, if you go back 100 years or 200 years, you only had to learn about this crap in the newspaper. You know, or there was no TV. You would just learn about some tragedy on the other side of the world, you know, in the newspaper. And everything is in your face now. And when you're, let me just like codify this into, you know, when you're a liberal and you're already sort of a bleeding heart liberal, no wonder they're miserable all the time. They're miserable all the time because they have this untrammeled well of like, you know, of care for all of this stuff. And I'm like, it's not normal to care about everything in the world. You don't have to care about everything in the world. You know, even Socrates said, you know, it's okay to not have an opinion on something. You know, it's okay to say, I don't have an opinion on that. But you're so right, Austin. You're so right. Like, there's just only so much energy of goodwill and compassion that can be spent for
right.
one
But
human being.
it's like so fashionable on the right now to have like this what I call suicidal empathy. Right?
Yes.
The Palestinians in Gaza, they're getting steamrolled. It's a genocide. First genocide in history where there's been a population increase, by the way. Second of all, I do not care. When I say I'm America first, it's because I care about America first. And if Israel is more amenable to the American people and to the concept of classical liberalism or libertarianism, well, then morally I support Israel.
Correct.
And if Hamas is opposed to the principles of libertarianism and liberalism, and they run around blowing up cities, blowing themselves up, blowing up their babies, well then fuck them. Fuck them.
Right.
fuck them. Fuck all of them. And fuck anybody who defends them. Fuck Dave Smith. Fuck Tucker Carlson. Fuck every Nazi anti-Semite on X. Fuck Nick Fuentes. Fuck all of them. Because the Jews are the only people that stand in between them. If Israel wasn't there and the Jews weren't there, do you know who Hamas would be killing and blowing up? They'd be blowing up more of our towers, attacking more of our cities. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Right. Fuck them all. Let God sort them out. I am not an anti-war libertarian.
Well, and I mean, I just know where I can go in the Middle East, and it isn't Iran. You know? I'm not exactly. You want to go to the Middle East? Which country are you going to go to? You're going to Israel, bitch, because nowhere else is going to let you be sucking on a male dong or whatever it is. Not you, Justin.
Yeah, and I was given an opportunity, a birthright trip. As a Jew, you can take a free trip to Israel until you're like 26 as a Jew. But I didn't even want to go because I was feeling too unsafe about the Middle East. So it ruined it for me. I could have gone to Israel.
The only place where Glenn Greenwald can suck dick is in Israel, and that's the only country that he hates.
I mean, I don't understand.
How did we get into that? Ozempic?
How did we get to Ozempic? Oh, I just saw that. Well, it's how did we get to Ozempic?
So this is why you shouldn't take Ozempic.
This is how you get the Turkish inside out babies. Next on Tucker Carlson.
Right.
That's just where we go. This is the next level show.
People use. So like this account posted this yesterday. It says Ozempic doesn't cure obesity. It creates lifelong customers. The weight comes right back when you stop taking it. Okay, guess what? Any weight loss program, whether it's a diet or exercise, you have to do it for the rest of your life. No shit, idiots.
But when you're changing habits and patterns, such as diet and exercise, that's actually making lifestyle changes. Whereas with medicine, it's not changing your diet. It's not changing your exercise. Your habits are still the same.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's better to just change your habits than to take this medicine. Because it's putting a Band-Aid on the issue.
I'm going to lose every libertarian follower that I have now. If they didn't run away when I said fuck Palestine and Hamas, then they're going to hate me when I say I love drugs. I love drugs. And why libertarians should love drugs? I thought we loved drugs. Ozempic, I would absolutely take Ozempic, just like I would take the testosterone replacement therapy. I would take the sildenafil if I needed it. If I needed the Viagra or whatever it is, just give me the drugs. You know what I love? Ibuprofen. You know who makes it? Ooh. Bayer. You know, people were supposed to hate big pharma. I love drugs. I would take Ozempic to, you know why? Because I've been working out, but all my problem is that I love alcohol and I love to eat food. So I got a nice thick layer of marbling. I'm a delicious, juicy ribeye. But if I could lose the Ozempic, if I could lose the weight with Ozempic, then I could, then it would control my habits for me, and then I just lose weight, and I would look amazing. I wouldn't look like a Holocaust victim or like Ariana Grande. I would look fantastic because I got a little muscle mass underneath me. But I work out, but I like to eat.
Yeah, as long as you're okay with the side effects. I mean, to each his own, right? Yeah. That's what we as libertarians say is you can do with your body what you want. I don't necessarily have to do that with my body, but you can do it.
There's side effects to lifting weights. Destroy your body.
Or I don't have to pay for it. That's the other thing. It's like, or I don't have to pay for it. It's like you can do whatever you want to with your body, but I don't want to pay for it.
Here's the thing. If you're on public assistance and you're fat, you have to take Ozempic. Mandatory. That's what I say. Welfare.
Well, but can I tell you something?
Here's my anti-libertarian. My next
but again,
anti-libertarian
they're
phase.
not changing their habits and patterns, so they're going to still continue using drugs, still continue drinking, and they're going to still land in the hospital.
They will, but not because of obesity. So you want to get your welfare check? You line up. You get your Ozempic shot. Justin.
No, I was just going to say this. Now, here's where I turn into a liberal, and I get all the rest of your audience is going to hate me. But most of the food that the people that are poor eat is very nutritionally poor food.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of carbs. It's a lot of dense. There's very little nutritional value in a lot of those diets. Now, guess who makes the diet standards? The government, right? It says, oh, well, you can eat a lot of this, and we can create this food really cheaply. So here, eat this. So poor people are not getting nutritionally very good food. And so there's higher rates of diabetes, there's higher rates of all kinds of, comorbidities that come along with the fact that they're not eating good diets. So, yes, I see your point, but I also say, how do we get poor people to eat more nutritiously good food at a low cost? Because that's the issue right there. It's like, bad food, and anybody will tell you this, bad food is cheap. Good food is more expensive.
Yeah.
You know, just go down the one thing I learned when I was reorganizing my diet that you learn is you never eat within the aisles of the grocery store. You always shop the perimeter of the grocery store because that's where the most nutritious food in all grocery stores is. It's around the perimeter. So anything that's in the aisles is usually not a very good nutritional food. Maybe not with the frozen food section notwithstanding, because, you know, hot tip, frozen vegetables are almost nutritionally better than fresh vegetables, just letting your audience know that.
Oh,
so
well, that's good.
Yeah, but how do we get poor people to eat better nutritionist, more nutritious food? Nutritionists, that's a word I'm making up on a Friday. Nutritionist food. But
you
yeah,
have to somehow make it
your
taste
point.
better.
Yeah, I mean, I have sympathy for the poor because I'm like, not only are they poor, but now the government is saying, oh, here, eat this shitty food. And it's like, oh my God, it's like the government's making even poverty worse.
Just go to the grocery store. Just go to the grocery store and buy an apple, you morons. This is why you're poor, because you're stupid.
Yeah, apples are really cheap, honestly.
Buy some oranges, buy some fruit, buy some vegetables, right? Don't go to the fast food place. Go to the grocery store and buy some fresh food. It's really not that hard. Again, I'm not a hippie, so I don't feel the empathy for the poor. I say give them the Ozempic shots as they line up for their food.
They will be so hot in like Section 8 housing. They'll be like the hottest.
Maybe they'll have a reason to like, you know.
And then that's going to make them procreate even more because they're going to be good looking. We don't want that.
Okay, Ozempic and sterilization. There we go.
Well, yeah, I think
they
would.
Sister-in-law, y'all. I love you,
gladly
sister-in-law. You're hilarious.
Oh my God,
Sister-in-law
Stephanie is so funny.
funny.
The funny thing too is like she doesn't mean to be funny. She doesn't know she's funny, but she is so funny, which is the best kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yes. I love innocent funny. Innocent funny is my favorite kind of funny.
Yes, that's Stephanie. The Wake Up America show's got Freedom Family Friday. We're all related. Everybody on the show today. That's my brother over there, Justin, my big brother. That's my wife, Stephanie. Justin is with me and Stephanie, and it's the three of us on Freedom Family Friday, and we're having an absolute blast. We're almost always together on Fridays. It looks like people are really enjoying the show because normally towards the end of the show, like people start to kind of like trickle and find their way out as they're like going to work or doing something like that. But like our numbers have like consistently been going up. So maybe I think it was a discussion about sex, or maybe it was the Turkish inside out babies or something. I don't know. But
it was all of the F-bombs.
It was all the bad words we were saying. For some reason today, people are really sticking around. So it means we've done a great job. If you like this content, don't forget to click the like button. But if today's your first time watching the show, follow as well. When you click the follow button on Rumble, you'll get a notification when we go live, which is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. The Wake Up America show. The Wake Up America show streams live. So make sure that you're a regular guest and join us Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9. I see Brule Jack over in the chat. He's talking shit on libertarians. Listen, okay, this is how it works, okay? It's like my family. If I talk shit about Justin, okay, to Justin's face, and that's fine. Yeah. But if anybody else talks shit about Justin, we got a problem. It's like that with libertarians. If you're not a libertarian and you're talking shit on libertarianism, I'm going to come after you. If I'm a libertarian, I can talk shit about other libertarians. But when other like statists or communists talk shit on libertarianism, then we're going to fight. So that's just how it works. So be careful, Brule Jack. If you're a libertarian, it's okay though.
Yeah, and libertarians are a minority, so we have that ability to make fun of others since we are the minority class. See?
There you go. See, there we go. Minority
that's right. That's very Michel Foucault. Like the people who have the power, can't criticize, but the people who have no power can say anything they want.
That's right.
Quest Fanning says, "Oops, Austin is a Jack Stack crown rib meal. Oh my God, yes. Justin, have you ever been to Jack Stack and had their beef ribs at all? Oh my God.
Ooh, no, because I usually get brisket when I go to Jack Stack.
It's hard to not get brisket when you go to Jack Stack in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. The thing about the Crown Prime rib, the beef rib, it's as big as like a baby's head. It's a gigantic honking thing of meat, and it is smoky, and it is sweet, and it is crispy, and it is juicy. It's one of the most delicious foods that that God gave us here on this earth. It is the Crown Prime rib. When I went and ate it when I was living in Kansas City back in like 2017 or whatever, it was like $40 a rib. So now I'm sure it's like $80 a rib or something like that. So, but if you're ever in Kansas City and you want to really treat yourself, get the Crown Prime beef rib. It's 8:46. We got about 15 minutes left on the Wake Up America show. So do click that like button, subscribe, drop some Rumble rants, ask yourself how much value and how much fun have you had this morning, and then give that amount to us in dollars.
So we can pay for the Ozempic.
So that we can afford the Ozempic and the testosterone replacement therapy.
The TRT. That's right.
Yeah, just think of it as you're watching an Amazon Prime show. How much would you be willing to spend to watch an Amazon Prime show where it's like, to rent me, pay $3.99, to buy me, pay this, right?
Exactly.
We're so used to buying things on streaming, but yet when we're watching things online, we're disconnected from that.
Think of us as OnlyFans, but less hot, and we don't get naked. So,
but you will sell feet pics. You will sell pictures of your feet.
Oh, you will sell pictures of your feet?
Yeah,
Is that?
I will.
Okay.
Sure. I'll help your business.
Stephen Rue in the chat says Jack Stack is where it's at for sides. Yes, delicious sides. Justin, we've talked about Ozempic. We've talked about socialism. We've talked about everything but the thing we brought you on here to talk about, I guess. We did talk about the men.
Getting men back to the Democratic Party?
Yes.
I don't
back
know,
to the Democratic Party, yes.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how you vilify a whole demographic of people and then try to court them back again. I mean, men, I don't know. Are men bitches? Do they get smacked around and just be like, okay, sure, I'll come back. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't think I've never felt that way. To be vilified and then to have somebody be like, oh, please come back. We want your vote. I'm like, I left the Democratic Party because of this stuff. Do you realize how hard it is for me in my life to be who I am? It's not easy. I have no home. I'm homeless. I'm a politically homeless person, because I won't side with the crazy over here, and I can't get in bed with the people that are far right, alt right, wackadoo days over there. So I'm just kind of like, where do rationally minded people go who care about evidence and facts and want to make decisions based on what's available to the best of our ability? Because then people will say, well, you have XYZ, you have XYZ demographic marker, so this is how you should vote. Right? Oh, well, you're a woman, you should vote this way. Or you're a black person, you should vote this way. Or you're a gay person, you should vote this way. I'm like, this is the end result of our discourse. I mean, with men, it's like, we've realized, oh, whoops.
Well, and what's weird is it kind of has an opposite effect that, it sort of has this impact of making me want to not vote for women, making me not want to vote for minorities. It makes me want to defensively say, oh, well, then we probably, when you see Sydney Sweeney selling her bathwater, I think maybe women should never be president. Maybe it's a bad idea to have someone who,
It's the law of unintended consequences. It's like I think about people, listen, the whole George, also, by the way, happy 50th year anniversary to the George Floyd riots. Hi, that was 5 years ago this week. That was my deconversion moment where I was like, I don't think I'm on the left anymore. I don't think this is where I want to be. I don't think I agree with any of this. Because they were just totally in support of burning properties down. They were meeting out in public when we were all under quarantine and being like, it's fine. It's okay to go outside with the virus spreading and protest. You do this thing and with demographics, and you actually end up, for people like me who have studied all of this stuff and have really looked into what critical theory is and critical race theory and queer theory and all this stuff, because I wanted to know what it was about. Your average workaday person doesn't have time to do that, right? But they do know that when they're getting called racist and they're not a racist, that it's probably going to make them racist. It's like the law of unintended consequences, because it's like when people call you a racist constantly, 24/7, you just finally get to a point of apathy where you say, you know what? Okay, I'm racist. And just you give up and you're like, all right, I'm a racist. Then I'm a racist.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt you anymore. And then guess what? Then you don't care about racism. So that when real racism strikes its path and it comes out and says, here's the wolf, because so many people have been crying wolf, when the wolf finally appears, nobody gives a rat's flying fuck about the wolf at the door. because it's like, oh, okay, well, they've been saying that wolf's coming forever, so whatever. And nobody cares. And that's the end result that you get. So I fucking hate this shit so much. Sorry, those are not Disney words.
Justin, we're running out of time. Anything else that you want to share with our audience before we let you go, brother?
I have loved this show this morning. This has been the highlight of my whole week.
Aww.
Like, this has been so much fun today. I've got a Substack coming out in about 10 minutes here, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central. I wrote about this book called Hojoki, which is it's a Japanese book from the 12th century. I know you'd probably like it, Austin, but it's about, being able to be alone and being a hermit. Like, it's a book written by a Japanese hermit. And it just talks about, that we all need time away from the madness. We all need to step away from the phones and the televisions and go out into the world and be quiet for a little bit, sit in a park, sit by a river, be alone and be quiet and spend time in silence. So
that sounds like modern day Walden.
It is modern day Walden. That's exactly what it is. It's a Japanese version in the 1200s. It was written in 1212. That's the year it was written. And it's about exactly that. A guy it was in Kyoto, Japan, and he was like, there was a plague going on, and he said, get me out of here. So he went to a little hut, a 10 feet by 10 feet hut, and took his little instruments with him, took his koto instrument and his books, and he just lived in nature, and he watches the seasons come and go. It's a beautiful, poetic book. I recommend, and it's like maybe 10 pages. If it depends on the translation.
Really?
But it's super, super short.
I need to read this.
So
what's
beautiful.
It called, Justin? Spell it.
Hojoki, Hojoki.
Okay, Hojoki. There we go. You guys got your recommended reading for the weekend. Some fun stuff. Justin, we love you. We've had a blast on the show as well. It just flew by. Thanks for everything.
Turkish Inside Out babies.
Turkish Inside Out babies. That was definitely the best.
And now I can go make a Dutch baby in the oven.
Bye, Justin. We love you.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you too.
Aw, he's such a good sport.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you coming over here?
I just want to see what you guys are taking pictures of.
Why is it your business?
Well, you know what? This is my home.
Okay, mine too. Why are you taking pictures
Where
of
do
me?
you live?
I live in Scottsdale. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Michigan plates?
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Well, you know what? We've had problems here.
I don't care. You don't know me. Why are you taking pictures of me? And I don't know you. Do you know a lot of white men are doing racist things in this world, sir?
No.
You don't know that? You're not aware of that?
I'm a racist.
You are a racist.
I'm a racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay? So
what's your point? Why are you here?
Because this is a no zone.
Not really.
Oh, is it?
Not really, sir.
Tell me.
There's not a not. So I'm here. And what I'm about to do,
This is a no N-word zone. All right. Well, I guess this is where we've come to.
I don't think he even knows the meaning of the N-word, to be quite honest.
That Asian guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he knows. That word.
He
said
probably
it like
doesn't
he knows.
realize like how bad that word is, because he seems like he's from another country originally.
No, he said no. If
this is not his home country.
Listen, if he lives in the United States. Listen, if you say this is a no N-word zone with that kind of mouth, with that kind of venom in your voice, he goes, "This is a no N-word zone." When you say it, use it like that, you know what you're saying. Did you guys have a good show this morning? Did you enjoy the Wake Up America show? Then support the Wake Up America show. You can do so for free just by clicking like or maybe sharing or reposting the stream onto your feeds. That's the free way to do it. But if you really had a blast, guys, why not drop a Rumble rant, a few bucks in the tip jar as you exit, whatever it was worth to you, here at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. But as you exit the show, and if you're not watching us on Rumble or you prefer to get something for your money, we totally get it. We're capitalists too. Go to 4libertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. We've got a great promo going on right now for our Liberty earrings collection, the custom earrings collection. Stephanie, tell them about the deal we've got real quick.
You can get any earring in the shop for 10% off using code DON'TFORGET, DONTFORGET. So use that code, you get 10% off. Make sure to have earrings on hand for any woman's special occasion, anniversary, birthday, congratulation gift.
Your daughter's graduation. You forgot to get a gift for it. You've got a pair of earrings sitting around. Boom. You've got a perfect gift.
It's better than re-gifting.
Exactly.
Just have a new gift sitting there in your house.
Exactly. So go to forlibertyshop.com, guys. Buy yourself a pair of earrings. I know today's payday for some of you guys. For $25 delivered to your house, you could have a beautiful gift to share and wear with your friends. And we hope you guys will have a wonderful weekend as well. We're getting fiber. We will be back tonight. We'll be back on...
What time?
At 8 p.m. Central
8 p.m.
Time.
Okay.
We start the Wake Up America show's offshoot, which is the Freedom Arcade. And because we're getting fiber installed an hour from now in our house, we will be able to be in full at 1920 by 1080p, full HD Monday morning. This Wake Up America
Wish us
show.
luck.
Wish us luck. We hope nothing bad happens and that the internet gets installed fine. And we're on fiber internet tonight, guys. So keep an eye out. 8 p.m. Central Time tonight, right where you're at on rumble.com, the Freedom Arcade. Anything else, Stephanie, you want to say before we go?
Be free.
Be free. Love you guys. I hope you guys had a great time. Watch out for those Turkish Inside Out babies. We'll see you on tonight on the Freedom Arcade on the For Liberty Network. Bye, guys. File this under nanny state antics. Sweden has decided it really needs to protect people from paying for OnlyFans content. A few days ago, Swedish authorities voted to criminalize the purchase of remote sexual services. That means if you pay someone for sexy pictures or a live erotic webcam show online, you could now be breaking the law. This is all part of Sweden's famous Nordic model of sex work laws. Quick primer. Since 1999, Sweden has made it illegal to buy sex, but legal to sell it. In their view, all prostitution is exploitation, so the person selling is treated like a victim, and the buyer is treated like the criminal. Now they're expanding that to the internet. You commission a custom video or tip a cam girl to do something specific on live stream. That's a potential sex crime. You could go to jail for up to a year. But here's the kicker. You can still legally watch mainstream porn, subscribe to an OnlyFans creator and watch their regular posts. Totally fine. Buy a DVD or watch Pornhub. Knock yourself out. The line gets crossed when you ask for anything personalized. So if you pay someone to make a specific video just for you, suddenly that's now on the same level as buying sex in a back alley. Let that sink in. Sweden has now made it more legally dangerous to pay a consenting adult for a custom video than it is to pirate porn from a sketchy website. Support the big platforms or giant studios? That's okay. Tip an independent content creator directly? Nope, now you're a predator. It's like they want you to consume adult content, but only if you don't pay the actual person who made it. Even Swedish officials admit this will be hard to enforce. What's the plan? OnlyFans sting operations? Undercover cyber vice cops combing through spicy DMs? The resources being wasted here could be used to fight real trafficking or abuse. Instead, they're targeting consensual adult content. And the people affected? Furious. Sex workers are speaking out, warning that this will just drive their work underground and make it more dangerous. Civil society groups, researchers, and even feminist orgs begged lawmakers not to pass this law, but they were ignored. Some politicians even claimed the emails protesting the law were too well written to actually be from sex workers. The arrogance is stunning. Let's take Kara, a Swedish OnlyFans creator. She's a law student. When this passed, she said she cried, not out of guilt or shame, but out of fear. She's thinking about leaving her own country just to keep doing her job safely. And she's worried her boyfriend could be charged just for living in the same apartment where she streams. That's the world Sweden just created. One where loving someone who does online adult content can get you a prison sentence. Supporters of the law say this will stop exploitation. But that's just not true. What it will do is push creators into darker corners of the internet where they have fewer options and protections. When you criminalize the buyer, you don't end the transaction. You just make it more dangerous for the seller. And there's a huge free speech issue here too. Sweden likes to think of itself as a beacon of expression, but now it's telling people what kind of content they can or can't create, based on what offends politicians.
This isn't about stopping abuse. This is about control. This is the government telling adults they're not allowed to make their own choices. Now, before we get too smug here in America, keep this in mind. Sweden pioneered this model, and countries like France and Norway copied it. Even a few places here in the US are trying to push similar policies. We are not immune to this creeping authoritarianism. There are lawmakers who would love to police what you say, see, or share online, all for your own good. The difference? We have the First Amendment, and thank God for it. Our speech, our content, our consensual adult choices, these are protected, at least for now. But if we don't stay vigilant, we could wake up one day and find we're just one moral panic away from our own version of this insanity. So let's celebrate the fact that we live in a country where freedom still means something. And while we're at it, check out the Summer of Freedom collection at forlibertyshop.com. Wear it proudly, because whether it's your speech, your job, or your lifestyle, liberty matters. Thanks for tuning in. Be vigilant, be bold, and be grateful. Because despite all our flaws, we still live in the land of the free.